There's been learning through every impact benefit agreement that the Tahltan have had through Glore Creek, through Forest Kerr, through Volcano and McClymont, and going back even further on Eskay Creek. In every one of those processes, we try to learn from them and try to get a little bit better at the things that we do. Before Mount Poly happened, Tahltan Central Council was in negotiation with the Imperial Metals around the Red Chris mine. We were near completion on an impact benefit agreement with terms that covered environmental protection and monitoring, financial benefits, as well as employment and business contracting opportunities. After Mount Poly, we met with the community collectively in Iskoot, and now we are going to Tahltan everywhere. The goal then is to come back with Imperial Metals to talk about this, to talk about the questions and concerns that were raised in this, and have Imperial and Tahltan Central Council answer any further questions. After Mount Poly happened, we had to address some pretty serious concerns from the community. We met with the community on August 22nd and 23rd to put forward a number of commitments from Imperial Metals. Those commitments included things like a third-party independent review, as well as bringing a number of the benefits from the Tahltan, from the IBA forward without any commitment in return from the Tahltan. So the things that have been put in place already include employment commitments to move towards targets of 40% employment on the Red Chris mine for Tahltan within 5 years. They include things like getting a training plan in place and making sure that Tahltan workers are up there and working. At present, last report, there were 110 Tahltan workers up on that mine site. As well, environmental protections were put into place, as well as the third-party review. And as well, business and contracting opportunities were put forward without any commitment from the Tahltan Central Council itself. We have a number of mechanisms that we are using to follow through on the commitments. We're trying to do things like put implementation committees in place to work on subjects that are specific, such as employment and training, such as contracting. We're trying to put resources in place, such as a Tahltan business coordinator that will, in real time, know what the contracting opportunities are on that mine. And they will know, they will also have a database of all the Tahltan businesses, and it will be their job to find out what those opportunities are. So it's not just committees, it's not just annual planning, it's also resources that will make sure that these things are done. That includes 2 Tahltan human resource coordinators on the Red Chris site, with part of their job description being to ensure that Tahltan workers have access to jobs up there, that Tahltan workers have a voice that is heard on that mine site. As well, Tahltan Central Council has hired an external community liaison, Shanna Dennis, whose job is to find out people who want jobs on the site and connect them with opportunities. We are undertaking a number of communication processes with the Tahltan communities. Those include things like comprehensive surveys to try to answer questions and concerns and to provide the information that people want provided to them. They include a large round of community meetings that cover every place from Dease Lake, Iskoot and Telegraph to Whitehorse, Watson Lake, Prince George, Terrace, Smithers, Fort St. John, Vancouver, in order to communicate with our Tahltan members. That is the first round of community meetings that we are doing. After we are done that round of community meetings, we intend to do a second round of community meetings where we bring Imperial Metals as well to answer the questions and concerns that we've heard, and for Tahltan people to hear the commitments that Imperial Metals has made from their own mouths. In general, the Impact Benefit Agreement covers about 3 large areas. Those areas are environmental monitoring and protection. They are financial benefits, and they are the employment and training benefits, as well as the business and contracting opportunities. So the things that would be included in the impact benefit agreement that are outside of the tailings impoundment agreement are the financial benefits, which would include a royalty from the net smelter revenues on this mine. They'd include things like bonus payments. They'd include things like scholarships for Tahltan students. The impact benefit agreement actually incorporates a lot of the commitments that are made inside of the tailings impoundment agreement. And essentially what we're moving from is a traditional sense of an impact benefit agreement to something that we're calling a co-management agreement. And that means that we're much more involved in the management of that mine, especially the environmental practices and safety practices that are up there. As we go through that process, we'll be communicating the benefits of the impact benefit agreement, or as we're now calling it, a co-management agreement, to the Tahltan people, as well as the measures that we've taken to mitigate impacts and to try to ensure that that project is as safe as it possibly can be. When we complete that process, then the Tahltan people themselves will have the choice through a vote on whether this benefit agreement, co-management agreement, matches their interests. To ensure that Tahltans will have employment on that mine site, we are launching a large effort called TahltanWorks. It's a multi-pronged strategy that includes commitments from the Imperial Metals Company on the Red Chris mine. It includes partnerships with the government of British Columbia. It includes partnerships with educational institutions like Northern Lights College and Northwestern Community College. There are over $1 million in training commitments, $750,000 directly from the Red Chris mine over the next 5 years. There are commitments on jobs, targets of at least 40% employment on the Red Chris mine by year 5. There has been a number of people hired with the goal of trying to ensure that Tahltan people have access to those opportunities. Our ultimate goal is to ensure that the Tahltan people have as much information as they fully need on this project. Our ultimate goal is to ensure that the Tahltan people themselves can vote on whether this agreement matches their interests.